Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm Muhammad Sabir Islam Sarkar. Again coming towards you that I have revealed one of my important video some days ago where I have discussed about the response of immune system in children towards the COVID-19. Due to the time duration, I did not complete about the function of receptor within the children immune response. What did children's receptor do, or what do children immune system do during COVID-19 attack? What is the function, or what are the functions of receptor in case of children? So far we know there are a possibility for people of any age, or there is a possibility of all ages of people to be infected by COVID-19, including older adults to the younger children also. And we have seen some cases from older adults to the children, but there are relatively very few cases still today. There are relatively or comparatively very low cases of coronavirus infection among children, and very few infection by search previously within the children, reported among the children. So I try to find out the causes why children are not so vulnerable, why children are not at greater risk for the infection of COVID-19. Today I will discuss about the functions of the receptor within the children's body, because we know the receptor, which is known as a receiver of COVID-19 virus, I mean novel coronavirus, is known as ACE2 receptor. That means ACE2 receptor. This ACE2 receptor stands for angiotensin converting enzyme 2. Angiotensin converting enzyme 2, ACE2. So some of you people can ask or say ACE2 receptor in case of children and in case of older adults will be same. Okay, fine, this is same, but we should know the functions of ACE2 receptor or any other receptors or enzyme having within our biological system. Depends on some external factors. It also depends on intracellular regulatory mechanisms. It depends on the body chemistry of the older adults and children. So simply we can say, since the immune system is growing in case of children, so their body chemistry and the body chemistry of the younger adults are not same. Because children are in growing stage. So these are the factors that regulate. So whether ACE2 or ACE2 receptor is same by name in case of older adults and children, but their functions, even in case of children or in case of older people, the functions of ACE2 receptor is different, and it varies man to man, depending on their body chemistry, depending on some external factors, and depending their intracellular regulatory mechanisms towards each individuals. It depends on these factors. So first of all, this ACE2 receptor that I wanted to say in my previous video, but due to lack of time, I have closed this receptor function in that video. Today I will try to make it clear, or I will try to find some questions or find the answers of questions of immune system. What do immune system in children are responding according towards the COVID-19? So that I have said in my previous video, there should have a relation, there should have a good relation with the receptor along with the COVID-19 or along with any other coronavirus. Simply we know this ACE2 receptor are acting as a transmembrane carrier. It's also known as enzymatic carrier, and it normally lies at the outer surface of the cell, just at the cell membrane, and it will act as an entry point of any foreign particle or any foreign body, including COVID-19 or novel coronavirus. So the relation with this ACE2 receptor along with COVID-19 or any other coronavirus depends on their relationship. If the relation between COVID-19 and ACE2 receptor is good, friendly, agonistic in nature, not antagonist, so in that case coronavirus or COVID-19 will be good fit. It will have a good adjustment or attachment. Then this ACE2 receptor will carry this virus or genetic material of the COVID virus towards the cell, into the cell body. Otherwise, this coronavirus, new novel coronavirus or any other foreign particle will not be able to enter into the cell. And it is the primitive or prime duty of a foreign body to enter into the cell. Otherwise, it will not be able to have any multiplication or have any cell division. So it is necessary to enter into the cell first, either by any means, by receptor. Side by side, I would like to say there are some non-specific binding at the outer surface of the cell. For example, plasma protein, serum protein, some foreign particle or COVID-19 may be attached with this serum protein or plasma protein, but these are non-specific receptor, and ultimately these will not carry this coronavirus or novel coronavirus into the cell. So non-specific binding will not act actually. So in case of children, what about different doctors says? Dr. Murthy, I have seen, he explained that the receptor or protein in children are not responding as required by the COVID-19. That means he is saying that it is not responding prominently towards the COVID-19. And he also said that there might have some different shape in case of children, ACE2 receptor. That means ACE2 receptor in older adults and ACE2 receptor in younger children, the shape of this ACE2 receptor might be different, might have different shape. So which I mentioned in my previous video that there must have a lock-key relation between COVID-19 or any other foreign particle along with the ACE2 receptor. If there have no suitable shape, it should be lock-key relation. Key should be entered into the lock first, and it should be fitted first. Then lock will be open. Otherwise, it will not be open. So the entry point, the recognition site, that is called recognition site or binding site of the receptor, should be as favorable, as friendly to fit with the COVID-19. Otherwise, this will not be adjusted with the receptor, and receptor will not carry it into the lung cell. So it's a matter binding site of the receptor, and that is called also recognition site of the receptor, should be well shaped according to the requirement of the COVID-19, I mean novel coronavirus. Otherwise, this coronavirus and receptor will not fit. So Dr. Murthy is trying to say that the shape or the shape of the recognition site or binding site of the H2 receptor are not as good as the coronavirus required. So there is a little contamination. There is low cases, comparatively very few cases reported among children for the infection of COVID-19. So relation with the receptor is very important to enter into the cell first, otherwise it will not act. We also know that this receptor are acting as a membrane trafficking. That means it regulates the entry of nutrients, exchange of nutrients within the cell or from the inner side of the cell to the outer side, and it also regulates membrane, acts as a membrane trafficking for nutrients, foreign particles, or any other pathogens. So it's very important, and that I have said that binding site or recognition site, this COVID-19 or coronavirus 2019, the site of this novel coronavirus 2019 is known as spike protein. The site which will be fit with the recognition site or binding site of the receptor. This spike protein of the coronavirus or COVID-19 or such virus simply is required, it should be required, it should be expected. This spike protein of the coronavirus should be expected by the enzymatic domain of the receptor. Very important thing. The enzymatic domain of the receptor must require, must accept, must expect of the spike protein having in the coronavirus 2019. This spike protein and the enzymatic domain of the receptor, that should be fit first. Otherwise, novel coronavirus 2019 will not be capable to enter or to bind with the receptor, and if it fails to bind with the H2 receptor, it will be unable to enter into the lung cells, and it will be perished out, it will be die after a certain period of time. Entry process also requires, for example, entry of COVID-19 within the cell. It also depends, or entry process also requires priming of the spike protein of COVID-19 or such by the host serine protease. I mean host serine protease either within the receptor or within the cell. Serine protease of the receptor and cell should require the spike protein of the COVID-19. Otherwise, this COVID-19 will not be fit with the receptor and will not be able to enter into the cells. So, Dr. Murthy is trying to say the different shape of the receptor within the children, or they might not respond to the spike protein of the COVID-19 as prominently as required by the COVID-19. So, since there is a negative affinity within the children's receptor, within the ACE2 receptor in children, there is no possibility to be bind with this receptor, and ultimately there is no possibility to enter into the lung cells of the children. One more important thing, this ACE2 receptor, I would like to say side by side, this ACE2 receptor is not necessarily to be available within the lung cells. It's very important to know, and some cardiologists, some nephrologists, some gastroenterologists are still saying there might have some possibility to be infected in heart, in kidney, and in the stomach or intestine, because this ACE2 receptor, angiotensin converting enzyme 2, is also available on the surface of the cell within heart, within the kidney, within the arteries, and within the intestine. So this ACE2 receptor is also present in those organs. So should be very careful that if coronavirus or COVID-19 is available around the heart, around the kidney, or around intestine, or around arteries, there is a possibility of COVID-19 to enter into the heart, enter into the kidney, enter into the intestine, and enter into the arteries. That is very critical. And if COVID-19 enters into the arteries, then it will be circulated towards the whole body by the blood stream or the blood circulation. So this is all about the receptor, matter of receptor, that has said by Dr. Murthy that due to this different shape or due to some external factors within the children, or due to this external factor, the receptor of the children are not responding as prominently as required by the COVID-19. So there is a less possibility to have novel coronavirus infection among the children, and it is relatively very low. There are relatively very low report, very few report among the children worldwide, that I have told in my previous video. So there are some suggestions about this receptor. Some doctors are saying ACE2 receptor, since these are the carrier, these are the main pathway, it is the main entry point of the cells. So if they have any possibility to reduce the ACE2 receptor, there might have a possibility to reduce the infection. And some doctors are saying some angiotensin receptor blockers also helpful. Angiotensin receptor blockers, the treatment by ACE inhibitor or angiotensin receptor blockers, that is called ARBS blockers, ARBS, if treated by ACE inhibitor or ARBS, will be a good therapeutics, and it has shown from previous trials about ACE inhibitor, because there are ACE inhibitor in the market available, used for the cardiac patient. ARBS also available for cardiac patient. So this ACE inhibitor has a proven case to reduce the pneumonia in case of diabetic patient and in case of heart patient. And there is also some trials on ACE inhibitor that they are reducing pneumonia triggered mortality within the diabetic and heart patient. So if they have any possibility to inhibit ACE2 receptor either by medication or by natural system, it might be a good way to stop the entry of the COVID-19 within the lung cell. So this is all about receptor mechanism, mode of receptor that ultimately regulates the entry of COVID-19 within the children's lung cell. Lastly, I would say that I didn't mention these ACE2 receptor are recognized as a carrier of COVID-19, and the ACE2 receptor are also present in the outer surface of the lungs alveolar epithelial cells. I mean lung alveolar epithelial cells. So lung alveolar epithelial cells are very vulnerable, since there are some ACE2 receptor at the outer surface of this cell and outer surface of the alveoli. So no more today. I think you have understand that there should have a good relation, and the relation is not friendly enough, is not agonistic enough in case of children. That has already said by Dr. Murthy, and that since there is no good relation, there is an antagonistic relation with COVID-19 in some cases, but not for all children. Maximum children are protecting this COVID-19 because their receptor has an antagonistic properties, antagonistic affinity to the COVID-19, and hence this COVID-19 will not fit good with the receptor, I mean ACE2 receptor in children, and in maximum cases they are not capable enough to have some shortness of breathing in case of children. So this is all about receptor mechanism that ultimately help the entry of COVID-19, and in case of children, these ACE2 receptor in maximum cases are not potential, are not responding prominently towards the COVID-19, and hence there is a very little case, and still now there is a very little case, very little report among children infected by the COVID-19. There might have some another researches will be published after this pandemic, and then we will be able to know the real fact of this less contamination within the children. So no more today, more when we meet again, inshallah.